Good morning, traders. Today is Tuesday, October the 2nd, and this is just going to be a short video on the mega caps. I'm going to start off looking at the NASDAQ. Obviously, if you've been trading, we've been in somewhat of a short-term downtrend, as you can see right here. And I'm going to compare these up to the other mega caps since they're the highest weighted equities in this index. Now, short term, this is what you want to see as a day trader. You want to see a consolidation with large ranges. That gives you a chance to be long and short. I mean, for yesterday, as an example, we rallied up 0.5% in the morning, gapped up. It was a gap and go, rallied up 20 points on the NASDAQ futures. And then we sold off about 1%. That's what I like to see when I'm trading. I don't really like just short grind up moves where there's really no pullbacks and you don't have a chance to get long, and the risk outweighs the reward because the trend is strong, and if you get in at the wrong time they can pull it back hard. I like to see the whipsaw action, me personally. Now, I will not swing trade this. I was long Apple going into the close calls yesterday. I had a feeling it was going to move up, but the uncertainty in the consolidation period in the markets made me not want to take the trade overnight. We see Apple up 3.5 points in the pre-market. It would have been a winner, but I just feel that I don't have a competitive edge when it comes to trading like that. Apple I'll pull up next. I mean, Apple's up 60% year to date. We see the down move in Apple just like we see in the NASDAQ. It's moving down. So you could have been taking shorts and you would have been paid nicely. Now we're bouncing off this support as you saw yesterday. That was another reason why I thought we were going to get a pop into the close, but it really just didn't happen. I made like 8 cents on 10 contracts. It really wasn't even worth my time after commission. As far as Amazon goes, we've showed some relative weakness, more than other stocks in this index. You have to note that we were up big this day, down this day, and down this day, and now we have 2 lower days. It's going to be interesting what happens with Amazon. Are we going to hold 250, or are we going to sell back down to 245? It's been very strong, and a lot of people are taking some profits off, and there's a lot of institutions seeing if they could take somewhat of a short here. So we're watching this very closely. And all of these stocks normally trade in tandem, excluding recent earnings, of course. Chipotle, big gap down, went up for a few days after we passed that gap, but then after that, sold back off. Now here's where it gets interesting. Yeah, we could trade back down to 306. That would be the low of the gap, and you might see some people buy it up there. Obviously, they still believe this is a growth story. They still believe in the expansion and the growing consumers using this restaurant. So institutions will buy it. It's just a matter of time when. Is this going to be a little deeper pullback since we ran up so much in the markets? Priceline. Here we are. And this was a fantastic move. Here we go. Here's the top of the gap. Here's the gap fill. Here's roughly 50% of that gap. If you put fib retracements on it, that's where it would be. So we held over the 50%. A lot of people thought we were going to fill this gap right away. Well, now we're pulling back in. Yesterday it showed strength. When Apple was weak, when Amazon was weak, Priceline and Google were the ones you wanted to put your money to work in. Notice the 200-day moving average is right here, and the 10 is downtrending. So another thing, I don't trade around the 200-day moving average. I know several traders that make a living only trading off the 200, finding stocks that trade like that, but over time I look at my statistics and that's not my specialty, so I stay away from it. If we break back over, of course, 630, you might be able to get that move and gap fill eventually. If we fail, 604 is in the cards. Now let's look at Google. This is the one that I really wanted to show you. Okay. it's showing no signs of pulling back. We hit another all-time high yesterday at 765. When the NASDAQ was pulling back and all the other mega caps, Google's consolidating. I don't know what's going to happen here, but I do know eventually there has to be a pullback to the 9-period moving average. Whether we break up to 780, 800 first, I'm not sure. I'm looking for that day that it gives it to us to get short this stock. And I'm looking for a 10-15 point down move. I'm being patient here. I'm not shorting highs. Loser short highs. If you don't have some kind of catalyst within 15 to 30 days, there's no reason to ever short a stock. It could be earnings. It could be you think that local advertisements are down. Any industry, it has to have a catalyst for you to take any kind of position. Along with economics, along with technicals, combine that all together. Alright, so that's what I'm watching. Remember, Baidu did get that downgrade yesterday, and we saw a sharp move. Now this is one that you could have shorted. And the reason you could have shorted this, the market was weak, right? We popped up in the morning, sold off. Baidu was down about 2 points. And then we went down another 2.5 points. So it was an impressive short. When the market's weak, look to short weak stocks. Now 116, I was watching it hit that. They pulled it back. It looks like they're not trying to run it to 120. This stock has something wrong with it. It just has been a dog. We see a flat moving average, which means, again, it's good for day traders. For swing traders, there's no trend to get involved in. So I'm staying away from this right now. The last thing I want to show you is the Aussie New Zealand dollar. And I've been short this small position since September the 3rd, which you see right around here. I mean, very small. The percentage gain's very impressive, but that's about it. Now, when I spotted this, of course, first it was technicals. I said if we drop below this low, I kind of wanted to take a short, small size, and I might add to it. I never added to it. But I was watching this from an economist background going into the 26 trade balance, September 26 trade balance. Obviously, they were pricing in a move here, and we saw the underperforming action come in the Aussie New Zealand dollar. Australia is I'm not impressed by the data points it's been putting out lately. I'm gonna take this off today. If you could get this many pips in a move, you better take it. This is by far my biggest swing trade of the year. And next time I spot something like this, I'm gonna put it on here. Just like I'm talking about Google right now. Let's look for that reversal. I want you to catch this reversal with me. Trade the weekly options. Trade the front month options. If you don't have a lot of buying power, trade the weeklies. Be careful though, because they expire in 1 week. New ones come out on Thursday if these ones are too time decayed for you. Alright, that's it, traders. Good luck.